What time is it now? Clock me, okay? Well, first of all, I just want to thank, Matthew and Event Santa Cruz and everybody involved with this event. This is incredible. I went last year, was very inspired, and didn't even know that a year later I'd actually be sitting up here talking to everybody. So a lot of amazing things that happened last year, and it's not without the support of a great community that wants craft product and wants to have things local. So that's going to be the theme of what I talk about. But when I was thinking about and talking to Julie, who couldn't be here, my wife Julie and I are Elkhorn Slough Brewing Company, and we, absolutely came up with the worst name for a brewing company in the world. You try to describe somebody on the phone, you're on the phone with somebody, you say Elkhorn Slough. It's like, yeah, how do you spell that? And you see it in words, and it's like Elkhorn Slough. It's really interesting when people see the words and they're not from the area. But anyway, so I was asking Julie, hey, what should I talk about? There's so much. I like to tell stories. Everybody knows I like to tell stories. Sit down with me, have a beer with me, I'll tell you a story. So I'm really going to try to keep this short. But what I decided, I said, Julie, what should I not talk about? And she's like, well, don't talk about the fact that you have this idea that yeast actually possibly came from a comet that landed at Elkhorn Slough, and that you believe that possibly the single-celled organism somehow infected all of the apple trees on your property and got into your home brew, and it tasted good. And that we actually become like a host, and it's actually the yeast that's actually controlling us. And as brewers, we're just creating fornication factories for the yeast. And who are we? So who's really running the show here? Is it the brewers? Is it the beer drinkers? Or are these like single-celled organisms? Okay, well, listen, I was like, okay, I'm not going to talk about that. That's too weird. So then I said, well, what if I talk about when I moved to Santa Cruz in 1988 and went to UC Santa Cruz, started brewing here on Cayuga, just down the street here, my first batches of beer, and then moved to a commune in SoCal, where we started experimenting with beer, okay? Is anybody from the TTB or ABC here? Okay, well, let's just say I'm not going to talk about that either, okay? Just to be safe, okay? So I'm not going to tell stories about that at this event. So then I was like thinking, well, what else did I talk about? Well, if I'm not talking about those things, why don't I talk about really why I'm passionate about making beer? And I think Julie and I live on a small property near Elkhorn Slough, and we like things that come from our environment. We live in a very rich place. We are so lucky. We are so amazingly lucky that we actually have this bountiful, beautiful, agriculture and this system. And part of respecting that and part of being part of that is that with intention, everything you do should be with intention. And we started making beer with intention. And I started making everything we do. We make kombucha, we make food, everything is with intention. And we just looked around, I started putting things that we grew on our property into the beer I was making. And it was tasting good. And we loved it. And we started thinking about the fact that there's this idea in the wine business for years about terroir, that there's a sense of space, there's a sense of locale that you can actually impart into your product. And I think what's going to differentiate the brewers in Santa Cruz, and this wonderful class of 2016, by the way, which is amazing. So thank you guys. You guys have been really supportive. We have an amazing bunch of brewers coming online this year, which is great. Is that nobody can make beer. Nobody can make my beer. Because it's made really from the stuff that is really right there. And we're doing it. We're doing a nano brewery in Watsonville. We're the first brewery in Watsonville off of Hangar Way. And we harvest yeast from our apples. We mix that with other stuff. We try to put a little bit of local love in everything we do. And I think if we do that, if we can put a little bit of local love in everything we do, then we are creating a terroir in our product. And that's what's going to differentiate us. That nobody can take our beer and mass produce it and go out there and do that. It's us. And we are the product. And if, and that's why the community's been so supportive. And, I just want to thank everybody, who's going to try our beer. We just got our occupancy in January after a year of building it out. And so we're just getting our first batches out. And the people, Beer 30, Lupolo, Crimer House, all the people who are supporting us and taking a risk on like a new brewery, new nano brewery that's doing crazy stuff as a jazz brewer. I don't make the same thing twice, okay? And if you come in, if it says one thing, and if you say, oh, that's that? Oh, yeah, okay, good luck, right? It's just not gonna be maybe that the next time, okay? But that's what we do. I don't like to hear the same song twice, okay? Really, seriously. I mean, it's like, okay, who wants to, some people like that, and that's cool, okay? But Elkhorn Slough, it's probably gonna be a little bit different each time. But that's what we're doing. We're putting a little bit of local love in everything we do. So thank you very much. May the funk be with you.